Hi guys, welcome again. So we're going to look at the review questions that are based on correlation. And the first question says scuba divers have maximum dive times they cannot exceed when going to different depths. The data in the table below shows different depths with the maximum dive times in minutes. So we have data in our depths in feet, and also we have maximum dive time in terms of minutes. So the question is, we are supposed to find the correlation coefficient for this data. To remind you, we learn about correlation, and we say that correlation is the number between 0 and -1 and also +1. When correlation is 0, it means no correlation. And when correlation is -1, it means that we have perfect correlation. But this correlation to the negative side, they mean inverse relationship between two variables. For the positive side, correlation is 1. When correlation is 1, it means we have perfect correlation, and it is positive. So we mentioned something also, that if correlation is 0.5 negative and also positive 0.5, so basically we can say that any correlation less than 0.5 towards 0 is not significant, but correlation from 0.5 towards -1, we can say that we have strong correlation. And so on the other side as well, any correlation less than 0.5 towards 0, we can say that that correlation is not significant. But correlation from 0.5 towards 1, we can say that we have strong correlation. How do we find the correlation? We can use Excel function. Just click equal sign and type CORR, so you can see that we have this correl and its correlation, and we are supposed to select the first array and the second array. So let's select the first array including the labels. So that is the first array. You put comma sign, select the second one, and close the bracket. If you can enter, you can say that we have -0.96294. So this correlation is actually way more than 0.5 towards -1. It is actually almost -1, and so we can say we have strong correlation. So let me write here, we have strong correlation. That is the first question. Second question say that interpret the correlation coefficient that we found in 1. So since we have strong, and we can say strong negative correlation, we can interpret this as follows, that depths and maximum dive correlate. They correlate each other. We have strong correlation between maximum dive time and the depth, and that relationship is negative. So the maximum dive time is inversely related to the depths in feet. So the far you can go, the less the maximum dive time you can take. So you can explain that. The second question says, interpret the correlation found in part 1. Actually, that's what we're supposed to do here. So I'm going to remove this. So that's what we have already done. And the next thing is to draw the scatter diagram. It is important to show the relationship by visualization, and so we need to draw scatter diagram, and I'm going to show you how we can do that. So just go to insert, and then you can go to recommended charts. But before you do that, you need to highlight this our values, and then just go to insert and recommended charts. Excel will recommend a number of charts, but in this case we are looking for this scatter diagram. We don't have it here for me, and I have no idea why, but that's not the problem. So the first thing you need to do is just to see if the scatter diagram is recommended. If it's not, then go here. So we have scatter diagram, which shows the relationship between X and Y. So select the first one. So you can see that we have negative relationship between X and Y. So you need to label this. You need to label this accordingly. So here is we can call it correlation between Y and X. So we can define Y in this case as depth, and dive time is Y. But anyway, so correlation between the depth and maximum dive time, that's what actually you can say here. However, we need to define the vertical and horizontal axis, and in this case, if you're using Windows, you can utilize these chart elements. But if you are not using Windows and if you're using Excel, you will see also chart elements in this side if you're using Excel. My Excel is a little limited, but anyways, so if you're using MacBook, you'll see chart elements here, and you can do exactly the same as what I'm going to do here. You need to define the axis titles, and I want you to click trend line as well, and so now you can define what is X axis and what is Y axis. So in this case, what is Y and what is X? So we can say maximum dive time is a function of depths. So this could be Y and this could be X. So if that's the case, then I can say X, and on the other side I'll say Y. So we know what is Y, and also we know what is X. So this is how you can draw the scatter diagram, and we can see the slope, which is negative. In this case, the more you go this way, the more you have values horizontal, so the less also this will be, and the more you move to the left, the more you go, the higher you go. So we have inverse relationship between those two. that's how we can draw the scatter diagram. So in this question, I will give you similar kind of question for your exam, and you need to show how to create scatter diagram as well. You can follow what I just did, but make sure that your diagram is labeled. Again, we learned how to use data analysis to find the matrix correlation. So especially when you have more than one variable, and I may give you more than one variable, and to find matrix correlations, so all you have to do is to click on the data, and still you have your data analysis, and all you have to do is to click on the data analysis, and now you can look for the correlation. So correlation is here. Click OK, and all you're going to do is to select all the values, all of them. If you have a number of variables, just select all of them, and make sure that you label the first row, because you're going to include the rows, and you can decide this to be in columns or in rows, but I think columns is okay. And then you need to define the output range, and find any place you want your correlation to be. So I may select here, so output range, let me click here, and then let me post my outcome there. So click OK, and you can see that we have that matrix. So I may give you this kind of question and ask you to find the correlation matrix. So that one you use data analysis. I think that's all with correlation. And also, I may give you one question which will have questions on correlation and also for regression analysis. Now, there's one thing which I didn't consider when I was responding to this question. So before you do this, you need to hypothesize your results. And so the null hypothesis, this should start before you actually do the correlation. So our hypothesis is that there is no correlation between these two variables. So R is correlation, and it says that no correlation, and we can say so by 95 confidence level. In other words, we are 95% confident that correlation is 0, no correlation, unless you prove otherwise. So we can prove this otherwise by showing that correlation is not equal to 0, and we can prove this with the probability value, which should be less or equal to 5% significance level. So this is what you're supposed to start with, and then you can create the correlation. You can find the correlation, and then you can continue with this interpretation part and also drawing the scatter diagram. I think correlation is not that difficult because it involves two variables, X and Y. Thank you.